Welcome in, no punts allowed, elite can crack. If you could have only heard, like, our pre-show conversation today was electric.
Was 15 minutes long.
We talked some wedding, we talked childcare, we talked college football. We both are having a reasonably good week. Normally we come into the show and like we're on fire.
That sounds bad. It's just by Wednesday, you and I have so much going on that like it just sometimes a lot. We come in. This is our event sesh, really.
It sounds real. But normally for various reasons, we're like, it's the end of the Wednesday. We're exhausted. We're both like, no, I'm doing pretty good.
We're doing okay. Not
because I'm going to Vegas this week, and that's why. We'll talk about that. Random shit is gonna be. We got some random.
Gonna pop off today.
But first, let's start by telling you that you need to watch us on YouTube. You need to subscribe to all the various places that you get this podcast. YouTube is still the best.
By far the best.
By far the best. You're going to get the most context. You got onto our recording studio today, and you were like smirk, like you had a look of like, because first off, I was here first. Doesn't normally happen. So I think you were in a state of shock that I was actually on time, which is fair, by the way.
Yes. But I didn't get a text from you saying like need 2 minutes per usual. And so I was like, okay, maybe he is here. So I probably should have known based off of that. But I usually get a text like need a few coming now, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
or like I'll be there in 20. I mean, it can range from a few to 25. No, we've largely kept it on the rails. And
also, sorry, we're going to take it off the rails. I just want to say, before our show, you always do this countdown, okay? And you started doing it for our... we shoot these recordings every Thursday that are predictions. And it's like a 30-minute recording session. And Adam and I go through our predictions for like top games for BR, okay? So we're doing these, and Adam like cannot do it without doing the countdown. And it just cracks me up. I tried to do the countdown once, and it threw me off completely. And I was like, I'm not doing that again.
I need it. Like when I was doing for like BR betting, this goes back like 15 years. And like I need a 3, 2, and 1. And then it's like, but it is weird. And every time I do it, I can hear you like audibly laugh. Like, oh,
I do. I start laughing at the start of all of those clips. Like go look in the BR app. At the start of every clip for a one that you start, it is always me laughing on the other end or smiling really big because I'm laughing at you doing that and having to do it.
Well, there's also there's like a rhythm to the 3, 2. It's not just 3, 2, 1. It's 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah,
like I'm starting a fucking car commercial. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Now, let's first start off with how fucking smart we are about college football. We told you recently, like we have no problem being wrong. Look, Clemson, pretty bad. Ty Simpson winning the fucking Heisman, however. And of course, I'm jinxing this horribly. But even being in the position he is right now, at the time we did this show last week, he was 20-1 to win the Heisman. And we told you that
when he beats Georgia.
Why are there no college football odds on DraftKings right now? Because I'm trying to find what his Heisman odds are. This is very... I saw this morning when
I literally saw it this morning too. Hold on. Because I was looking at Dante Moore.
Well, I don't know... Like maybe I've logged in so many times. They're like, look, man, take a break.
I have them. Hold on.
So wait, awards? I am the only one. Not you're able to get into DraftKings right now?
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem.
He's plus 850.
Simpson is.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus 750 is Dante Moore.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. So from 20, we could talk about that game in particular. It went pretty much how we thought it was going to go. I did not expect that Alabama would call a screen pass to its 350-pound lineman. We should talk about that.
That was amazing.
Way too natural. That looks way too fucking normal for that. Holy shit.
Also, was that kind of a dig at Bobo to be like, we'll show you our screen pass?
Probably,
we've seen yours.
But like,
call something else.
Watching him do that, I was just in awe. So, yes, that game, those games were just electric. But good for Alabama, good for Kalen DeBoer, good for Ty Simpson. And I think I'll say this: I think the SEC is a little bit of a jumbled mess.
It is a jumbled mess, but also I want to say shout out for Eric Bowman, who messaged me about how that was like a direct LOL in his face, which makes me laugh.
You think it was? So do you think that was like a direct shot?
That's what the streets are saying. Okay, I don't want to get Eric Bowman in any trouble, but friend of the pod.
I love Eric Bowman, big Eric Bowman guy.
Yes, for those that don't know, he did what I do at BR before I did. There were two other people. Actually, no, only one. But yeah, no, that game did go how we thought it was going to go. I am happy that we can chill on some of the narrative around Alabama, which we were certainly a part of. I mean, we absolutely were part of. But also, I said this on our AP poll show. I'm not apologizing to Alabama.
I liked your attitude towards it.
I am not apologizing. You looked bad against Florida State. I'm not sorry that I said that you were trash and this was scary. Keelan DeBoer, I'm not even sorry what I said about you and how you didn't care. Although I did see you crack a smile, by the way.
What I liked is you like doubled down before you had to double down. Like you're just like you know what?
No one was even coming at me yet, but I was like, by the way, Alabama, I already know the comments are going to be like, well, you said, well, I don't care that I said that because it was true. At the time, it was very, very true. Let me be a prisoner of the moment and be like worried about Alabama because that was a very poor showing. Watch the tape again. But we're fine. I said you guys were all right.
Well, speaking of poor showings, let's talk about Drew Aller and Penn State. Now, shout out to Drew Aller and Penn State and the play calling for making a comeback. It was unbelievable. It was like a light switch clicked on. I think they doubled their yardage in the fourth quarter for the entire game. So look, and Penn State is not a bad team. I don't think James Franklin is a bad coach. I appreciate the fact that he's not running from the narrative and just kind of look, like we haven't fucking won. I admire that.
So did I.
Penn State can still win a national championship.
Yeah.
All that being said, like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. And where is this going to change with Drew Aller? Like, I don't think with quarterbacks, you kind of know what you have, especially when you see him a lot. And Drew Aller is very capable. He's not horrible, but they're clearly scheming this offense. They started running well when they started running misdirection, going to the outside, getting creative with play calling. I don't know why they would have done that sooner. So where are you on Drew Aller? We're not going to look. It's a college kid. We're not going to, I don't like criticizing college kids in general. I'm going to criticize the decision that they made saying it's going to be different this year with him if we put a couple of good wide receivers around him.
Yeah.
That's the issue I have.
My concern is more with like just the mistake when he does make mistakes. It's in the worst time for him to make mistakes. It's like that's the part where I like you could be great, you could launch the comeback, but it's like he lacks that like it factor in terms of like clutchness to be able to like finish off a game. Like that was a situation where, like, I'm sure Penn State fans were like, we've seen this film before. Sure, he can come back. Sure, we can be close in this. But when it comes down to making that actual play where, you know, we need to drive down and score to keep the game alive or win it, we're not doing it. And he's not the guy for that. And that's where I struggle because he's like an intense guy. And that's where I'm like, okay, now that I know that he's really intense, he gets on his teammates. Like he is like, I think he needs to find a way to get himself to be calm in those moments and find it. Because I do think it's a bit mental. I don't think, and like to your point, I also think play calling
it's all this. It's a lot mental. It's a lot mental. And
it's because, and two, like when you look like he does in terms of like physical and like what you could be in terms of quarterback.
Physical?
Yeah. Like
is that a word?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Physicality. Physical?
Okay. So physicality. Sorry.
To be clear, I love physical. If that is a word, it should be. It looks, and you said it like elegantly. You had like physicality. Maybe
No, but I'm pretty sure physical. Okay, wait, hold on. We need to figure this out because also, how do you tell the difference between physical and
the way you said it? Like, I'm in. I think that, to be clear, it threw me for a loop. But we can make this a thing. And the way you said it, which I don't, because I'd butcher if I tried, I knew exactly what you're talking about.
Well, duh, because it's really close to the actual thing. But I need to know.
No, but you said it better. Like, if I tried to say physical, I'd be like, you like, it was punctuation there. Like, and I do know what you're saying.
I feel like it's okay. How he physically looks and when you look at him,
he
and
looks
go,
like
hey,
he should be a fucking rock star. Like,
yes,
which is
honestly,
why we keep doing this.
Like, he's giving Josh Allen, and he's not. Like, that's the difference there.
Look, I'm going to talk about my Mets and Jets feelings in a little bit, but Christian Hackenberg of Penn State, the parallels here are like bizarre. Christian Hackenberg lifted Penn State from a really shitty sanction time. So did James Franklin, by the way. Like, okay, and Bill O'Brien, all that. Christian Hackenberg looked like the dude. And then you realized this guy is 6'5" and amazing, but he can't throw. Now, Drew Aller, I think, and Christian Hackenberg got like drafted in the third fucking round or second round by the Jets. And then like, oh God, this guy can't throw. Drew Aller, I can't get this parallel out of my mind.
I'm laughing because I was in a meeting earlier today and someone drew this exact same parallel and was like, Drew Aller makes Christian Hackenberg look like Tom Brady. Like, this is ridiculous.
Oh no, I think Drew Aller is better. And I would,
but it's just like, if you're a Penn State fan, though, you're like miserable. You've been in this experience.
It's because Hackenberg was kind of awesome. It was like the DJU trajectory.
I also like really can't get over that physical is not a word. Maybe I sound like you've never seen High School Musical, have you?
No.
Okay, well, she says instead of musical, she says musical. So like, I'm definitely the drama teacher. I'm the weird drama teacher.
No, I like it. I think that's got to be. I'm gonna just use that in a story. And people,
I think I was like, I don't know what I was trying to do, but it's Wednesday. Okay, leave me alone.
oh yeah, because I am always very cohesive with my words and thoughts. Just let me read a name off of a website, and it goes.
That's like the first time you've ever done that to me, I think, and it had to feel so good because I am always on you about things you say, how you say it, and the faces you make.
Every episode, you should go on YouTube and see my response. It wasn't shame. It was genuine intrigue. Now let's talk Dan Lanning in Oregon because we have games we got to talk about. Now, Dan Lanning, who I wrote about this week for BR, go check it out. Watching him in the post game interview, I mean, that guy runs hot. That guy looked like he was ready to run through a brick wall.
Yeah,
I love the way he coaches. I love the way he runs a program. He's been doing this for less than 4 years, which is pretty crazy. And if you were to ask right now, if you're starting with a head coach, who do you want? Like, how far down the list do you go before you get to Dan Lanning?
Not very. I don't think. Is there anybody
One
else?
Or two?
Yeah, maybe Kirby.
Ryan Day?
I mean. And that's the first time I've ever said because exactly. you don't want that problem. You don't want the Ryan Day spirit.
Not exactly the best endorsement.
Love Ryan Day, but where he's at is where he needs to stay. I don't think he needs to stress himself out and go anywhere else.
Who relates more to a generation of kids than that? Right?
Oh, Dan Lanning?
Yeah, like Ryan Day is not that guy. And actually that's not necessarily a bad thing. But if this guy is recruiting you, you're like, man, I just love this style. Now he's got to win playoff games. Like, if you're going to be critical of him, we can be. He's only, he's had 2 chances. They haven't done it. That's going to change. They got kind of fucked last year playing Ohio State, like round 1. That wasn't great. So, I mean, we did a rule change to avoid that, basically.
I will say this. It's all about, like, that is, like, what fits the Oregon brand. So, like, to be pretty clear, he's definitely been on boards for other jobs at other places. Dan Lanning is doing this at Oregon because this is where he's able to do it the way he wants to do it and what fits for him. Like,
yes,
his style, his personality, his age, how they want to run a program, all those things. Oregon is the place for him to do that. And like, that's why, like, with Ryan Day, to your point, like, Ohio State is where, like, they don't want a coach that's relating to the players. They don't want a coach that's like speaking on, politics and social issues. Like, they don't want that. At Oregon, they're happy with that. They're good with this guy. I also, funny thing, I was doing some research on Dante Moore because
yes,
I was trying to figure out, like, a lot of people are like, oh wow, look at, he's jumping onto the scene. How did we not know this was gonna happen? And I was like, I feel like we did, because like he was a 5-star. He was choosing, so I looked back at him choosing between UCLA and Oregon. Okay, when he first was deciding coming out of high school, he chose UCLA because Kenny Dillingham recruited him and left to take the Arizona State job.
Well,
can you imagine? Let me just take a moment. Can you imagine, though, what was it? Not this last offseason, but the offseason before that. If Kenny Dillingham didn't have Sam Leavitt, or just even had the year that they had this last year, the year before.
Yeah.
Dante Moore could easily be the quarterback at Arizona State. And like, that's like what nightmares are made of for me. However, so anyway, I was looking at this, reading all of this and listening to him talk about his decisions. He got hosed with Chip Kelly. Hosed.
By the way, like, we talked about him on this podcast.
Yes.
There were some tremendous flashes. That was a bad
team. We said
team.
when he transferred, we were like, oh my God, he's going to be him and Cam Ward are going to be great.
And the way Oregon did it was brilliant. Again, money is a big part of this. They paid for Dylan Gabriel. Hey, shout out Dylan Gabriel, starting an NFL game this week. And then they also paid for Moore, who got to sit and essentially redshirt. But I'm driving in today to the office, and I was listening to Mel Kiper, just as an aside, not a draft podcast. And Mel Kiper is talking about him being the only quarterback in college football that interests NFL scouts. And that's like...
Yeah, because he's an NFL...
My mind was kind of blown there when you think of where we started.
He runs a little more, but I would say, like, in terms of like...
no, but like, it's been a weird year at the position, and he's going to be 20 if he's like, so there's a lot to unpack with him. He is electric. That offense is electric. But here's the other thing I noticed with Oregon too, real quick. They looked fast. I'm watching this game with somebody, and I'm like, on defense, like, you could feel it with teams, and they are explosive everywhere. They were physically up for Penn State, which was not a shock, but it was really eye-opening. You could tell very early on they were there for it.
So, and I think the reason, NFL teams would look at Dante Moore and go, okay, is because he makes throws for explosive plays in tight windows and like into coverage, and it's just the accuracy is there. He's the best at that. Like, and also, I mean, he's extending plays like no other. The way he can read a defense, and also that's props to Dan Lanning, because he said he talks to Dan Lanning every single day about the stuff that he's going to see and go against. And a guy who obviously coached SEC defenses, that's very helpful in terms of being able to do it amongst the best. This Oregon team, I think, like, definitely has that, like, it factor. And Dante Moore is certainly a part of that. But on the flip side of, like, the Drew Aller thing, like, Dante Moore did not show any sign of emotion until the game was over, and then was, like, super emotional, which, by the way, the most relatable thing of all time, where you could, like, do your job, get your shit done, and then cry after. Like,
my God.
That's the Paige special. The Paige special. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. It was the most relatable thing ever. I was like, yes, you know that out of anybody. Yeah. Like, you know.
I'm similar too, by the way. Like, you do the thing, you're like, we did the thing, and then it's like, oh my God.
And so
that's hilarious.
And Dan Lanning just being who he is, and the, like, also I just, like, need to know how much caffeine he consumed before, like, because he was, like, sweating so badly, and I think just, like, the hype of it all.
I had, like, other people say, like, when he's biting his lip in the, like, that dude like, looks, like, medically charged.
So here's the thing, is that I I don't know really much about like Zins, and I mean I know that Nick does them, but I don't know like if they give you like energy or if it's like
well,
it's like a focus thing, right?
It is. It's a little buzz. I mean, I was a very aggressive back before Zins. It was Skull. Oh yeah. Yeah, and then but like Zins is the same shit. We just put a little packet around it and we market it better.
It's much cleaner, but yes, there's way better marketing.
Shout out to my Grizzly fans out there. Yeah,
we could literally do a whole podcast on why the marketing
Jason, my basement, and for a big sporting event, there are Zins flying. Normally not me. Vegas this weekend,
probably,
maybe. But I don't trust myself, man. I'm liquid.
Let me tell you, if you're listening to this podcast right now and you Zin and you are leaving Zins around your house for your wife to find,
is this something that happens?
Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
Okay.
Is this something that happens in my house? Yes. This is my platform to be able to speak to the men because the men are listening to this. Stop Nick, leaving your Zins everywhere, okay?
Buddy, we're thinking about you.
I'm like, if I find one more Zin, especially in the laundry, I'm like, take them out of your pockets. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway. Around. Dan Lannon, we love you. We love you. We love you.
Yeah, we do.
And I can't wait for this Oregon to continue.
Oregon is a wagon. Oregon's a wagon. I am very excited for them to keep going. Or I sound like a fucking seal. All right, let's talk about. I want to talk about Bobby Petrino first. I know we were talking. We want Lane.
You were going to say, let's talk about physical.
Let's talk about Lane because we can do a little on Lane.
Wait, yes.
What do you have on Lane? Other than Lane. By the way, like the mystique of Lane and him being a really good football coach, we have to probably stop. Like this dude is doing the fucking thing, man. Like with two quarterbacks, he's got it going. I'm excited for him. Like I'm
excited for him too. Also, like shout out to him for being like able to address his stuff. I started the doc, his doc, but I have to wait for Nick to do that, and it's football season, so I've been waiting for like a whole week.
Good luck. Yep, good luck.
So eventually I'll finish it, but I've seen clips of it, and I will say it just makes me happy that he wins games like that, and gets to celebrate games like that, and also just like the coaching in that, like just watching like the play calling, the joke that he was making about like the tempo and like all the plays in the first half, like that stuff that's just like next level strategy that this guy's mind is like constantly on, and I just freaking love it.
It's built different. He is built different. He is, and he's maturing, and like if Florida opens up, he's got a really interesting life decision to make because he's got a really good thing going there, but I'd love to see what he can do with more, and Florida would be more. I don't think he's got it made here. Like he's like, it would take a lot for them to have to fire him, which is going to get me to our next point here shortly. I don't know if he wants that. I think if at Ole Miss, you compete for a playoff spot here and there. You're playing in the SEC. You're recruiting better. Like you got a pretty good thing going. And I mean, Florida, we see what the track record is, right? It's not great. So I think Lane is fine where he is.
I think he is too, and I think that that's like something that when he was hired at Ole Miss, I'm sure a lot of those fans also, but nationally, college football fans in general, probably thought that was a stopover for him, and probably when he got there, it was. But yes. To your point, I think the environment that he is in is the one he could be most successful in. I think in Florida, there would be issues that would be a little bit make things more difficult. Like I think where he is really suits him doing well. And honestly, my biggest hope is that one day he just comes back to USC and I can just have a popover flight to watch him coach at USC.
In this age of college, that would be awesome actually. In this age of college football, like Florida can probably pay him more than Ole Miss.
Oh, duh.
And Ole Miss has some really weird laws in terms of like, 3 to 4 year contracts. Can't go any longer than that. But like, there's ways around it. But like, what does an extra $1 million a year mean to him versus
nothing
the longevity? Truly, like he doesn't. It sounds really weird. It's $1 million fucking dollars. But if he's happy and it works, like don't screw it up. And this,
don't mess with it. Like, don't ruin a good thing. Like, I think he could, like, I mean, I'm being fully honest. Like, I think he could win a national championship if he stays at Ole Miss.
I
like,
think
that's
he could
possible.
too.
Like, the way that college football is mapped out now, there's like obviously a cap, and we know that there's loopholes and all of that stuff. But like, people are gonna go play for him. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Is it's about playing for Lane Kiffin.
I agree with you. You get the right quarterback in the right situation. I don't think this is the team. I think this team is really good.
Yes, but
who the fuck knows?
In general, he stays.
Like,
it could be.
But it's.
Can you imagine Trinidad Chambliss just like winning a national championship?
I mean, that team is fun. Every one of their wide receivers, it looks like a power forward. It just grabs the like. They are fun to watch, and it was frankly, it was nice to see Brian Kelly lose. Not just because I bet Ole Miss, but just because, just
amen.
All right. Anyway, Bobby Petrino
is now the coach at Arkansas.
What year is it? Like, what are we doing here? This guy
time is a flat
was in
circle.
a
like, this is
fucking neck brace, like banging his whatever, crashed his motor. Like, this happened, right?
I mean,
I'll say it. Like, time is a flat circle. We could have stopped it there. I could have not said the other things, but you have to acknowledge it. And now he's like making changes to his staff. And I saw people on Twitter today saying like, well, Bobby wins 3 games. He's probably the coach. Are we really? Is this going to be the thing? Like, are we going to do this?
Yeah, we are. Time heals all wounds as well. So like, any trouble that you may have gotten into, any inappropriate behavior that happened, is behind you,
Well, look, I'm all for second, third, and or fourth chances. The guy was an asshole in the NFL.
We got to give him to everybody else.
Yeah. But the guy, this guy has some history. So does Lane. But like, come on now. Like, whatever. Bobby Petrino is back. Sam Pittman is gone. We like Sam Pittman.
He got a lot of money.
He got a lot of money to go away, which happy for Sam. Probably going to do his Ed Orgeron, like be out of football for a while and then try to get a job. Ed Orgeron, by the way, sources confirm he wants back. You know what I'm talking about. Ed Orgeron trying to get back into things.
Speaking of people with personal issues that interfere with their ability to do their job.
Oh, it's fine. They're small compared to one Bobby Petrino, but yeah, he's got some things.
Were they small?
Yeah. They're small enough. Didn't crash a goddamn motor. Anyways, I don't want to rip on anybody. Bobby Petrino back. We wish him well. What is Arkansas' schedule? I do want to see this. So let's do the percentage of will he have a job. So Arkansas, who finds, I bet Arkansas Arkansas last week against Notre Dame. That was bad. They play at Tennessee. That's not going to go well. They play A&M. No. They play Auburn. They play Mississippi State. They play at LSU, at Texas, and Missouri. So I think Arkansas is going to be looking for that. That's awful.
That is horrible.
They've already played at Ole Miss.
Wow.
At
the beginning of the year, you were like, oh, we at least get Mississippi State. And you're like, shit, we got Mississippi State.
That is diabolical.
That is brutal.
That is...
to be fair, at least Sam Pittman doesn't have to deal with the horror of what is about to occur for longer.
No, you saved him that because this is
the pain of it.
But again, like, somebody's got to lose these games. Like, the SEC is brutal. Last but not least, I don't know how many people care about this. I think it's interesting. As we're getting on, we get from sources that the Big Ten is discussing an infusion of cash, $2 billion from, all the sources around Twitter, of private equity. So this has been something we've talked about. Essentially, you can go read about it on ESPN. Private capital deal would include a couple of really interesting things, like the grant of rights would be extended until 2046, which means the conference is staying together, no super conferences. And it would also mean about $2 billion to the conference, and much of that would go to schools. So what I'm interested by is why. Like, I know we're paying players, and I know that the finances of athletic departments are still a goddamn fiasco. but in theory, the money is going to keep going up. So if you're doing this exclusively to pay players, like that's not a good long-term business model, right?
No.
Like you're just like you're just paying off debts basically, or future debts. That's troubling to me. I don't know if you have any. My take is this is inevitable. The only thing that's really interesting that makes sense, the reason you go for private equity in business or whatever, is to say like, we're going to pour gasoline on the fire. We're going to invest in whatever we think it is to grow this brand, to grow these things, to make the yearly investments go up. So if the Big Ten thinks that getting $2 billion will allow it to spend, market itself better globally, do whatever, get other revenue sharing deals, improve TV contracts, fine. I don't know where the ceiling is on all this. So I don't know if that's a good idea. And if you're the schools though, Paige, I guess you're probably like, let's get some risk off the table. We'll take some cash. Yeah. I don't know. I'm curious how this goes.
I am too. I also am curious if this, because I mean, it's supposed to be all of the Big Ten. And I think when we imagined private equity getting involved in college athletics, it was going to be a world where it was just about college football, like separate college football from the other sports, college football and basketball potentially as well, separate them from the other sports, let the other sports run the way it has run before because it makes more sense that way. Football and basketball, the revenue is different, the setup for paying players, all of those things. So I'm curious how this works from like a, hey, does this help keep other sports, or is this legitimately about football and just making the ability to pay for that a little bit easier?
The cynic, and I'll tell you, private equity does not invest in like charity sports, like in charity cases.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's why I'm like, this is interesting that they're saying it's about the Big Ten, but like, what do the other sports have to say about this when you're like discontinuing like beach volleyball or something? You know, like I'm very confused why.
I would imagine that like, and this is
how does a commissioner though like justify that?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think people fear private equity involvement for a lot of reasons.
Yes.
Some of them I think are completely valid, but if you're in these schools and there's so much at stake,
and you're already kind of in the red.
So something to keep an eye on. It's really interesting. And then if you're at Ohio State and Michigan, as we've seen the conversations in the ACC, right? Like if this is another equity event, aren't you saying, well, we deserve more than Purdue? No offense, Purdue, right? Like this is really interesting. So we're not doing private equity talk during the season. Let's talk. I like this. I have not thought of any of these, but you put them on the dock, and now I'm just looking at them in real time.
Yes, because we have so it's been summary. Yes, so we are sort of going to give our synopsis of the month. So we have had a month of college football. So for September, I mean, those playing technicalities can say yes, we had some in August, but we're gonna give sort of some superlatives out for the first month of college football. I forgot which ones I already put down already. All right. The first one I have upset of the month. Do you want to take some time to think on this, or do you have your?
I think I have mine. Now, there have been, I imagine, bigger upsets than this, but Florida State over Alabama, I think, was the most like jarring for me. It felt like I was in a movie at the time, and
interesting. But does it matter right now? After looking at the rear view of the whole month as a whole, does that strike you as important, like upset of the month?
Yeah, it's fucking important. We like fired the coach. You just doubled down on why Alabama sucked then. I mean,
yeah.
No, I just think I'm curious where you go with this. In the moment, I did not expect that. It wasn't just that they lost.
So like most shocking.
But
and wait, how they lost.
I will tie this all back together. What was your biggest upset?
Virginia over Florida State. Not because it's actually less about Florida State and more about Virginia, and more about the fact that, like, have you taken a gander at Virginia's schedule?
Oh, I've got thoughts on Virginia this very week, by the way. So yes, I have thoughts. Yeah, that was awesome. that may have been the coolest moment because it just felt like the rushing of the field and everything else.
Well, first of all, that was scary. I'm a safety first person, and that was the scariest thing. Let me tell you, I was so happy to have missed the only time that Arizona rushed the field when I was in college. I was so happy. By the way, it was against Iowa.
I was in one. It was scary.
No, that's a hard no for me. That is a hard no. And if I'm on the field, catch me dipping so quick. That's an unruly crowd. Catch me out so fast. I'm up a tunnel. I am doing the reverse Dabo of him running down the hill. I am running out because I don't want to be in that crowd. No, thank you. It was very cool for the moment, like all those things.
Catch me dipping.
But in one, I will say the reason I think it was such a big deal is because one, I think the ACC, it kind of shifted the narrative of the ACC a little bit, where you even said on our AP poll show, like, hey, I don't even know that they're going to get 2 teams in. I think they might be a one bid team, but the Big 12 will probably help them out and just beat up on everybody. However, there are a few teams that could really hang around based on their ACC schedule and what they've won so far. So Georgia Tech being one of them, Virginia being one of them. Florida State, obviously, if they upset Miami, they still have the opportunity to be in that championship game. But I think the ACC race is going to be a little bit tighter for that second spot getting into the championship game, besides Miami.
Biggest overreaction. Do you want to go first this time?
Sure. I can't actually remember. Let's see what I put. Did I put?
No, I don't see anything in
here. No. Actually, I put LSU beating Clemson. I think that was the biggest overreaction. Like, we made that, like, it was like LSU, Lee Corso's right, LSU's going to win the national championship, and now their offense, which we did not think was going to be a problem for them, is a huge problem, and, like, consistently a huge problem.
Alabama being dead. I'm going to tie it back together.
Okay. You're going to say that was our biggest overreaction?
Because at the moment it felt big, and then we were like, well, you see, Kalen DeBoer is owed $140,000 a day. Like, I don't know if Alabama's going to make the playoff. I know, it'd be awesome. Fired coach, way to go. But I think we pronounced Alabama dead too soon, which we do all the time. Mr. September, who do you have?
So I can't decide because I really think, like, ultimately it probably should be John Mateer, because, like, there's literally no one that has, played better more consistently. But it feels weird saying that because it's literally had surgery and, like, is not going to play for a little bit. So maybe it is good to give him Mr. September because he's not getting Mr. October. Who else? You could argue Dante Moore. You could argue.
I thought more. The one that I kind of kept going back to was Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah,
he did not play great against Iowa, but it's undeniably like they are a hoss again. And he is way better than I thought. And the numbers are insane. And the win over, like, it's, Moore and him. Mateer we kind of thought was going to be good. And you're right. Because of the injury, we're probably looking at this a little differently.
Yeah.
Fernando, like, the guy is just,
so,
the numbers are insane.
To go along with this, somebody actually asked me this today when I was recording a video for BR. What would you consider the best win of the first month of college football? Because, like, you could justify that by a lot of things. So you could say Oregon's is by far, like, the most impressive win, like, or, like, best in terms of, like, that sets them up pretty well for the rest of the season. But, like, in terms of, like, biggest win or, like, what I learned the most about, like, Indiana over Illinois was a game that I was like, oh, Indiana's actually great defensively, great offensively. Like, this is a well-rounded team. I probably learned the most from that win. Like, that win told me what that team's going to be for the rest of the season.
I would also, in a weird way, argue Miami over Notre Dame because that was like, I know it was kind of a close game. It was ugly, off track, but, like, I started to take Miami seriously.
Yeah.
Like, Miami is not, and I have thoughts on them too, but Miami is, it's a great question, actually. I love, this is fun. Are we going to do this every month?
We are. Probably, if you remember, but
most dominant team thus far.
Oregon. Go Ducks. Go Ducks. Are you gonna say Indiana?
I'm gonna go Ohio State.
Oh,
I think
you liked
dominance.
that win at Washington, even though you bet against them.
I was impressed. I think the defense is
Got it.
the defense has allowed 7 points, 0 points, 9 points, and 6 points so far. And granted, they played Texas. I don't know, TBD. Grambling,
TBD.
Ohio, who is not bad. And I think Washington, I was impressed. Some work to do on the offense, obviously, always. It's pretty amazing just that they are in this position after losing as much talent as they did. I'm impressed. All right.
This week's games.
Locks. So we'll go to locks because I am, again, you asked when I do locks of the week for BR, like to have at least the marquee game featured. What's been really interesting about going, because I'll feature weirdo games all the time. What's been interesting about this through what week are we, 6? It actually, most of the time, I have had strong opinions on feature games. And I have a strong opinion on the feature game this week.
All right.
So for my locks, and I have 2, I got a bunch of featured game actually. I love Florida State this week against Miami.
Okay.
Now, I told you how impressed I was with the win over Notre Dame. I was not at all impressed with Carson Beck against Florida. And I think what we tend to do in this world of college football is we overreact. Florida State, in a look-ahead week, had to go on a Friday night to play a very capable Virginia
team, yes,
in a weird spot, and they lost. They fell behind early. They came back. They have a very tough quarterback to corral, and I've got some serious concerns. Miami is playing its first road game, which is really weird to me. Okay. And it's going to be a brutal spot. Florida State's going to beat Miami. Plus 4.5. I like them to win outright.
You're taking the money line. You're not even just taking.
I will take the money line as well, but I 4.5. 4.5 is a nice fun.
Was it 4.5? I thought it was 6.5.
It's 4. I think yes, it was. It came out. It came out higher. I think the line has come down. Currently 4.5.
Okay, well we'll have to. Okay, I'm just making sure that was good in the article.
I did. I'm actually double checking that right now. I did. My DraftKings is finally working. So, are you riding and or dying on this?
I am going to go with Miami. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think it'll come down to a field goal. So I think it'll be a 3-point game in Miami's favor.
I think Florida's going to beat Texas. I think Texas has. First off, this game is going to be disgusting to watch. Just appalling to watch.
What's the spread? Are you taking the spread or are you just taking the money line as well?
Florida's a 6.5-point dog. So my official pick is Florida plus 6.5. The total in this game is a very NFL-ian 41.5. This is like fucking Iowa playing goddamn insert Michigan State, whatever. That's what the total is here. So the odds makers are telling you that Arch Manning is not fixed and that Florida has problems. And Florida has played close competitive games throughout. Mm-hmm. I just saw a spread, by the way, that kind of blew my mind. A look-ahead spread, just a quick, that Georgia playing at Auburn. Auburn is only a 3.5-point dog against Georgia the following week. That blew my mind. This one, I think Florida's going to win. Billy Napier is going to have that magic ass win again. He's going to pull the rabbit again and save his job for another week.
You're taking Florida's defense over Texas's defense.
And by the way, I have more confidence in DJ Lagway than I do in Arch by a lot. And
right, but I have more. I think that Texas's defense is going to get after him.
They might. They're good. They're really good. Don't get me wrong. Texas defense, you deserve better. So is Texas going to cover? Do you like Texas to cover?
Yes.
Okay. So you like Florida State with the spread, but we're kind of 1-1.
Nope.
Or we're just 0-2.
We're just, because I said Miami was going to win by 3 points.
4.5. Well,
yeah. But are they, okay. So is Florida State? Yeah. Okay. Then yes.
All right.
Then yes, technically we're on the same page and guess with the spread on Florida State, but I don't. I think the Texas Florida one is no. That's a no for me.
Maybe my favorite spread of the week.
Oh boy,
Cincinnati -1.5 versus Iowa State.
Whoa! By the way, Cincinnati.
Let's just start by saying when Iowa State loses, it's and Cincinnati wins. This isn't an upset. Please do not say that to your friends. Doesn't matter what the number is next to Iowa State. It's 14, I think. Cincinnati's unranked, but they got a really good quarterback. Great win against Kansas. Iowa State pretty banged up, too. They had a lot of injuries last week. I really, really like Cincinnati here. This is a really fun team.
Guess what? I'm going to ride with you on this. I agree. Look at that. Jesus. Finally.
About time. All right. Baylor -6.5 versus Kansas State. Kansas State won us money last week against UCF, but Baylor is offensively a problem. So you have, I believe Kansas State is the number 92nd ranked pass defense in the country going up against the nation's leading passer. Problem.
Huge problem.
So Baylor is going to win this game by double digits. I do not trust Kansas State to win its quarterback.
I agree with you as well.
All right. And then the last one, and I kind of messed around with which one was going to be in the feature locks. You got to go to Bleacher Report, by the way, to get the other ones. And I feel really good. You know I feel good, Paige, when I go 5. I usually do 5 like highlighted games and then like 4 second tier. We got 5. We got 10 picks. So go check it out.
This one is a big one.
This is a big one. Texas A&M -14. It looks like this line is up to 14.5. Try and get 14 versus Mississippi State. Now, tale of two teams. Texas A&M last week, ugly against Auburn. Auburn's defense is really good. Auburn happened. Auburn knows how to make a game ugly. They're like Florida and Auburn. This is what they do. Mississippi State played well against Tennessee, but emotionally, I think that's a kick in the nuts. A&M's going to win this game by 30 points.
Okay.
You're going to be a little reality here, playing on the road against Texas A&M.
You know what? I will take Mississippi State to cover, just because I will. But also, I do want to mention. Did you see Elgo's press conference about penalties?
Yes.
How they said the players are going to have to contribute to the Cabo Fund, the coaches' Cabo Fund. That is next level funny. That is so good. This is why we pay players now, because this shit is funny. Him being like, yeah, if you get a penalty, because also Texas A&M really does need to clean up a bunch of stuff. They probably could have won some of the games that they've played close games in by avoiding penalties. But, I mean, that was so good.
I really like Elko. I think he
gives
hilarious.
Me like softer Signetti vibes, where like he's like funny, but like he's pretty direct and like to the point.
No, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of Signetti, who looks like a vampire now, just coaching, just like man of misery all the time. No, I like these guys. They're kind of awkward. They're not like the best salesmen, but they just have their own style, and it's very.
I mean, they're just keeping it real. It's not coach speak. It feels very like this is what it is. Take it or leave it.
Is there any other game? I kind of hit the high. Like Locks had some of the bigger ones in Michigan, Wisconsin. Do you care? I don't really care.
No.
I mean, Luke Filko might get fired. Like that. That's why that game is of interest to me.
No, I think Big 12. I was trying to see if there's any other, because we obviously talked about 2 of them.
1-3 Clemson versus 2-2 North Carolina. Yeesh, what a mess.
Right.
Yes, it's.
I mean, Kentucky, Georgia. Vanderbilt, Alabama.
Oh Jesus, yeah. I struggle with this. And I saw Diego today. Like, if we play our game, it's not going to be close. Like, I worry. I think Alabama is. I think playing at home is a little bit of a different story.
Yep. I think last year, I think seeing how they've turned this around, seeing the locker room video of Ty Simpson, I get the vibes that this might not be great for Vanderbilt.
You know, Vandy has played really well. And Diego is such a hard guy to like bet against. I don't know if I want anything to do with the spread. But I think they're getting a lot of respect. 10.5 playing at Alabama. I mean, that to me is like just, it jumps out. It's just like,
which is
Jesus
funny
Christ.
because he's gonna view that as disrespect. And look, I love how feisty he is. I love a good college quarterback that's gonna make headlines and is hanging out. But I also like he was hanging out with Johnny Manziel after the game last week out in Nashville. Like, you know, I mean, props to him if he can show up and beat Bama. That'd be sick.
Well, I just also like, they don't. The key is actually to not make this very emotional. And Bama, I think, yes, they lost last year. They were embarrassed. I think Bama is just like happy to have found its footing. Don't make this personal. Like, this is not personal.
Yes.
And Bama needs to do the same. So like Diego also, like, part of what makes him great is this, but also like that's not what this game needs. Like, the game needs just you to do your thing. Like, it's not going to be close. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't care. Like, that's fun, by the way. Good for him to have the confidence. Like, we asked for them to say this shit. It's just not what I would be saying. That's all.
Yes.
All right. Random shit.
You're going to Vegas.
Go to Vegas. I'm very excited to go to Vegas. I am actually going to be able to enjoy the college football season from the sports book. I was talking to my guy, Todd Furman, this week about where he and I are going to try and get together for a beer, watch a little college football. That would be fun. Back before podcasts were a thing, Todd and I and Bud did a podcast that we would call in and literally record on our phones like a bunch of old fucks.
You just had to say, wow.
But it was fun. It was a degenerate pod. So it'll be good to see Todd. And yeah, I don't know if I want to talk about the Mets, but I do have a funny comment. So the thing about it, the Mets don't just embarrass me. They don't just lose. They do embarrass me. And so on Sunday, like, I talked to my dad, like, they've been bad for 3 months. So we kind of knew this was coming. And my son comes up to me and he's like, Dad, and they're Mets fans too, right? We went last week. It was amazing. Saw them play the Cubs. They actually won. He's like, Dad, I'm kind of happy the Mets are out. And I thought he was fucking with me. I was like, well, why do you say that? He goes, so you could stop being sad all the time. And I'm like, oh, that's not great. That's not great. So I that kind of hit a chord. And since then, I am free and clear watching playoff baseball, which I do love still. Baseball is
Did you remind him that you're still an Iowa and a Jets fan, or?
Well, to have the Jets then play the next night is God's sick way of like turning the knife. Like, and I think I'm more Mets than Jets. I have to be. The Jets have been so bad forever. But that was like, that wasn't cool. Like, that wasn't very nice. It's like the goddamn Jets. So, and Iowa's Iowa, although they should have won that fucking game. So that's my random shit. It's largely sports sadness.
My random shit is mostly just reminding people that if you're invited to a wedding, just like RSVP. It's just so helpful. It is so helpful.
A disclaimer.
It's good advice.
Good. Yeah, that's fair. That's good disclaimer. Like, that's.
It is. It's like, you know what? I used to maybe not, like, I mean, I always RSVP'd eventually, but I think like being mindful of like the like fact that these numbers matter, and like I have a new respect for it now planning a wedding. I'm like, dang, okay. Now I understand why it's important to do that on time and make sure people are aware.
How is the planning going, by the way?
I'm fine. I'm like waiting, honestly, for me to like lose my mind, and I just like simply haven't. I think it'll come, but I'm just like not sure when. I don't know. I just feel like weirdly like calm. I'm excited. I'm glad that it's like happening. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel very happy about it. I also like have like all these like I'm excited for people to like experience the stuff that we've been planning for so long, and now that like it's becoming real. Like, I had my first dress fitting last week, so like it's becoming more and more real. And I feel like it's been like, okay, it's so far away. We have so many months, blah blah, but we're like just under the 2 month timeline. So I'm
shit.
I know, which it feels like we've been talking about it forever. So I'm glad that it'll be here and very exciting. But also, I did see a couple who's getting married in 2 weeks, who they're like an influencer couple, and the groom, his groomsmen were like former USC football players, and it's the week they play Michigan, and like their ceremony time is the same time as the game. And she was like, "Do we need TVs at our cocktail hour?" And I was like, "Wow, look, way ahead of you, way ahead of you." We were watching games. There's gonna be football on. Don't you worry. She was like, "If somebody has a cell phone at my ceremony, I'm gonna be pissed." I'm like, "I literally don't care as long as you're on mute. Don't care. You can watch a football game." Although you're not gonna be able to. It's 3:00. It's a 3:00 ceremony. There's not gonna be games starting at that time. You're gonna be in the middle of a game. You can wait.
Yeah, ceremony's different. Like,
you can have it on your lap and just see. I mean, I watched Oregon, Washington, not last year, but the year before. Yeah, the year before, on when it was the last second field goal. I watched it on my phone at a wedding ceremony.
See, people say like, the whole fall wedding thing. We'll do that at some point, I'm sure. Again, another round of that. But like, this is how you lead into it. You lead into it. Like, yeah, do fall weddings and make it a part of the wedding, so to speak.
Yeah, I wasn't going to change my whole life around for this. Like, I wanted to get married at this venue, so this was my option. So
don't do fall weddings. It's for sorry, I dropped my shoe. Let's pick that up. Is that your phone?
Yeah. Nick.
Oh, look at that pic of Nick.
I got this. His mom sent me a picture for his 30th birthday. And now this has just extreme baby fever, by the way. Extreme baby fever.
You have a heart on there and everything.
I know.
I don't know if I ever told you this. Do you know in my phone what Caitlin is listed as? This is kind of funny and slightly embarrassing. Lover Doodle.
You Lover Doodle?
This was from college. When we were dating in college. She put her name in there as Lover Doodle. I remember one time 10 years ago, I went to go fix it. Like, this isn't gonna, like, all right, the thing is up. And like, for some reason it didn't take in my phone. And I was like, well, fuck it. Then I'm just keeping it. So still, I just missed a call from Lover Doodle.
Wow.
I'm a 40-year-old man. I'm not a lover. Like, this is not
Lover Doodle.
Me.
I love that. Nick also didn't know my last name. So I was Paige B in his phone when he put me in there because he looked at my brother's Instagram and my brother's first name starts with a B. And he thought that like that was what it was. So he put it as Paige B. And I was like, we were like, maybe had been on like 2 or 3 days. And I was like, Paige B. And I was like, what? And so I changed it. And so now there's like a heart and a fire emoji next to it. So now the Paige B. Now it actually has my correct last name, which obviously is changing. But yeah, I have his baby photo on there and I have extreme baby. I hadn't seen like a really, like I'd seen like toddler pictures of Nick, but I hadn't seen like baby photos. And that was Christmas time. So he was like 6 months old, like not even 5 months old. And like that photo, I was like, oh no. Have you ever heard that TikTok sound? It's like, give me 14 more of them. Like,
yep. Oh yeah. Come on. I'm very online.
Yes. Like that was how I was like, all right, well, okay. Now I want a small child that looks just like this. His cheeks are so big, his chin, it's like his cheeks hang longer than his chin does. It was so cute.
Yeah. Then
I guess I should call him back.
I should call back Lover Doodle too. So with that, enjoy the week. We will talk to you all for, what is it, week 7? What is it? This is week 6. We will talk to you guys week 7. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.